Hey, Facebook family. Happy Monday afternoon. I'm running my errands today. I'm in my fourth month of early retirement. Loving it, finding purpose and what matters to me. And in saying that, about a month ago, I felt compelled to contribute in any way to help in preserving the Smithsonian African American Museum of History. It's American history, first and foremost, just to be clear. But it is our history, African Americans, history I never knew about, was never taught in my books in elementary, middle, or high school. A little in college because I went to a HBCU college my first year in Tennessee. So I learned a lot in their history lessons, but nowhere near the magnitude of what I found when I visited the Smithsonian Museum of African American History back in 2019. I was in Washington with my youngest daughter, Ava, and we were visiting Howard University, which was one of her top three schools she was considering attending. So we took an afternoon because it had just opened, I think, too, like a few months before, to dedicate a few hours to checking it out. That visit changed my perspective, outlook on everything. Everything has been a lie. So, in that truth of what is documented in that museum, we can't allow it to be destroyed, erased, removed. So, what I was compelled to do last month, I donated. Some of the local churches, Reverend Moss at Trinity Church in Chicago recommended churches across the country participate in donating to the museum. A membership is only $25. So, with my extraness, I donated $100. I'll tell it. What that includes, too, is free admission to the museum for myself and a guest. And so, in that, I'm going to take a pilgrimage back there in my activism, probably in early September, and really go through that museum. When I was there in 2019, it was so much to take in. It is so mentally emotional. I cried, I smiled, I laughed, I marveled at the genius, the ingenuity, the brilliance, the talent, the physical superiority, and everything that was in that museum. We were there in 2019 for about 4 hours. We got there at 1, so by the time they were announcing it was closing, I still wasn't done. So if you have not been there, put it on your calendar. Put it as a marker to do before the end of this year, 2025. I'm asking you. I'm not telling you, I'm asking you. It's for everybody, black people, white people, Hispanic people, to know this history. So this administration, they can try to do away with it, but they can't erase it. But the hope is that churches and citizens across the country can help contribute to it, to maintain. Maybe they won't need as much as the government assistance. I think they receive about 40% from the federal, and 60% was personal contributions. Oprah, where you at? Everybody, you need it again. Celebrities, sports athletes, all these rich bigwigs, even a few billionaires, Tyler Perry, everybody, and everyday people like me and you. This is just the beginning what they'll start to do. For some reason, this administration is picking on us, picking on African Americans, the backbone of this country, I might add. And It is wrong and it is unfair. We are not our ancestors. We are not even our parents, that generation from the 50s and 60s who had to kowtow, who had to be subservient. And my parents were the help. They worked regular day jobs and then they helped serve parties for rich white people on the weekends in Chicago in the 60s and 70s. And my mom took care of little Jewish kids in Glenview and Skokie when I needed her at home with me. She was taking care of them. So in saying that history, that can't be, it won't be abolished, not on my watch. And I hope you would feel the same way. If you have the time, the means, and the ability, I'm hopping a plane in September, and I'm going to try to dedicate a whole day there, maybe 2 days. I'm going to go for a quick little 2-day jaunt and really absorb it. It is unreal. And I'm going to be highly pissed, depending on how much of the memorabilia the Trump is trying to remove. Shame on him. Shame on him. Karma coming for you. I don't have to say anything else about it. So I'm just proud. I did receive a plaque. I'm very proud of it. It makes me feel like a kid again because I always was interested in history, English, reading. I was strong in those areas generally, language arts. But just to be a part of it, a membership is tax deductible too. So you can start off with $25. So there is a movement, if you're not aware of it, across the country, and it's spreading, where people are joining and contributing contributing to this museum. $25. You spend that on like 2 things at the store. Give if you can to the Smithsonian African American Museum of History, and try to make it your business to take you and your family either later this summer, early this summer, whenever. It's generally, pretty busy with a lot of tourists this time of the year. So I just said I would wait till, September. So that's my little shout for today. But I was very touched and honored to receive my membership and do what I can and do my little piece of activism and citizenship because I care and I love who I am and where I come from more than ever. I always instill that in my children as well. They're activists themselves, and that is just something you don't mess with. You don't mess with the Holocaust. You don't mess with Hispanic history, Indian culture history. All these are components of what makes this country the great country it is. It's bordering on not being that great unless we, the people, be the change we want to see. I mean, for real this time. This is scary. I have not even looked at the news too often. That's my oven going off. I'm baking. I have not even looked at the news in months because it's too depressing. Talk shows, any of that. I look at TCM movies, sports, read a lot of shows on Netflix and Prime. I'm just immersed in that and working out and things like that. So that's all I got to say for today. But check it out if you can. You won't regret it. It's history for all of us. But for African Americans in particular, that's some of the problem. A lot of these young people don't even know half the history or much of any of it. To know where we come from and who we come from and what we're capable of in the future to help make a difference in our lives and others' lives and for this country's sake. God bless. Take care.